We're live! Yay! We're waiting for people to show up, but that's okay.
Fun times.
I know. Oh no, it's talking to me.
Somebody mute themselves.
I did. It was me.
Oh. Yeah, I shared it on Instagram and Twitter, so hopefully.
Okay, sweet. Oh, we have one person. I know that my friend Kathleen will be joining us too, and she just finished it, so that'll be good. Let me just make a quick boomerang because oh no. Okay, so this is the live show for Deafo by Cece Bell, which was the June Sassy Book Club live show book. June Sassy Book Club book of the month is what I'm trying to say. And July's book of the month is When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. So if you want to join us for this one, then take a look in the down bar. You've got Twitter down there. You've got Goodreads down there and all those good things. I do already have people chosen for the live show, so I think that you guys will be really excited for who's going to join us next month. But that's a secret for now. And Deafo. So let's introduce everyone. I'm Cassie from MissSassyKassie. You're on my channel right now if you're watching. And if you haven't hit subscribed, I would love you to. I talk about books all the time. Let's go with Wulfie next.
I'm Wulfie. I'm from the channel So Little Ravenclaw.
And Murphy.
I'm Murphy. I'm from the channel Murphy Napier.
Bree.
My name is Bree, and I am from channel I Hear You Web TV.
And Chelsea.
Hi, Chelsea. Chelsea Darling reads. Hello.
Cute. These people are all really cool, and I have all of their channels linked down below. Everyone here is also booktubers, except for Bree, who makes videos about sign language and deafness and all of that good stuff. So if you're interested
Not anymore, not really.
Oh, well then you should help. You do it.
I Hear You Web TV is strictly it's an actual web series about deaf and hearing people coming together. So it's about these 5 friends, 3 deaf, 2 hearing, who figure out how to have a relationship with each other through different conflicts that they have because of their cultural differences, language barriers, hearing differences, and just different perspectives on life.
Cool. And it's a fictional TV show?
Yeah, it's fictional, but it is based on some of my characters' real lives.
Okay.
So, like, for example, like the character Grant's, a lot of the times, like, this is his real life experience that he's experienced that we just, like, put into the script.
Got
I put a little twist on it to make it fiction, but, you know.
Right. Fictionalizing the reality.
Right.
Cool. All right. So what did everyone think, without spoilers, of Deafo? It's a graphic novel, in case those of you who are here haven't read it yet. It's so freaking cute. The art. Oh my god. I love it. It's so adorable.
Her little bikini.
Yeah. And it's about a deaf girl. We get to watch Cece. It's a memoir graphic novel. We get to watch her from 1st through 5th grade, if I'm not mistaken. I think those are the grades that we watch her in. And she kind of grows up throughout this graphic novel. So what did everyone think of it? Star ratings and things like that.
Initially, I thought that it was like surprisingly outdated. And then I went to the author note to see why. And then once I found out that it was a memoir and it was supposed to be outdated, then I immediately, it upped my enjoyment so much.
That's good. That's good. What did everyone else think?
I personally wish that the entire world could read this book, just because there's over 70 million deaf people in the United States alone. And so this book, in my opinion, is probably the only book out there that really gives people a sense of understanding the deaf perspective. Because a lot of times there are different questions like, oh, well, like, why can't you just turn it up to here? And hearing people who are not involved in deaf culture don't really understand that doesn't help. It just makes it more confusing. But you don't really understand until you really read the book. So I'm just like, it's my wish that everybody in the world was able to read this, so that way they would just have a better understanding just of how that entire world works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I loved the one of the favorite things that I had in the book was when it happens a few times where they're watching TV or something and they say, oh, we'll just turn it up, or it's the radio maybe too, and stuff like that. I loved that.
I loved when she was holding up the signs in the beginning, trying to like explain to people like the different rules. If you turn away from me, I can't.
Oh yeah,
I can't read your lips and stuff like that. I thought that was like such a quick way to show such basic rules of being able to appropriately interact with someone with hearing difficulties.
Yeah, that was so. I just
32.
thought overall it was so well done. 32.
Yeah.
Is that the page?
Yeah.
Sweet. Chelsea and Wulfie, you guys haven't
I really appreciated that, like, it's a perspective I've never experienced. And it's like Murphy was saying, like, you know, my instinct, I guess, would have been to, like, turn up the TV or, like, to slow down my speech. But then to read this and realize that that's not helpful. And it's just like, this was a really helpful read. And, like, I think that the fact that, like, it's middle grade and aimed even at younger readers is so special because it's really just, it's a really accessible way for someone to be like, here's how to interact with someone who is deaf.
Yes.
Like, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things I'm editing my reading wrap up right now. So obviously I discussed this. And one of the things I said in that was this book is like something that every child should read, something that everybody with kids, something that everybody who works with kids, anybody who deals with children should read.
Yeah, definitely.
People in general, but
children, you still should read it because in every like corporate world or whatever job you have, you're gonna come across somebody who's deaf, and because this is based on like, you know, her life from grades 1 through 5, it gives us, even people way older than us, an understanding. You know, a lot of times when you come at people with all this, you know, professional, sophisticated talk, we're still kind of like, huh? But this is broken down in a way where literally every age group can understand.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's even not intimidating for non-readers, being a graphic novel.
Yeah.
It's a lot deeper than other graphic novels.
Yeah.
But while
Graphic
still being
novels
cute and fun.
Yeah.
Graphic novels make me nervous because a lot of times I cannot connect to characters when it's only, I mean, this book is like not small and it was took an hour to read. We've got some sound going on. Is it maybe, oh, now it's gone. Okay.
It's gone.
Like for as big of a book as it was, it took me maybe an hour and a half to read it. And for me, graphic novels sometimes can be a struggle with that because even though it's nice to be able to finish a book and put it on Goodreads and be like, yeah, I finished a book in an hour, I like can't connect with the characters and I just feel like I'm flipping through and it's, maybe I don't know how to read a graphic novel well yet. Like maybe I don't take enough time on each page either or something, but I felt like that this book was still like resonating with me. Yeah. So, okay. So I think that we probably will get into spoilers coming up here. So if you are watching and you haven't read it yet and you don't want to be spoiled, then now is probably the time to leave. Sorry. You're welcome to come back after you read it. Or you're welcome to stay if you don't care about being spoiled, but don't yell at us. Okay, so who was your favorite character? And you can't pick Cece if it's Cece.
What? Oh my god, I can't pick Cece?
No, you can't pick Cece if it's Cece.
Gosh,
I really loved Margaret. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chelsea.
Oh, no. I can't remember the name of the girl who hit her with a stick or whatever.
Yep, Margaret. That was the one I was...
Oh, Martha. Was it Martha?
Oh, Martha. Yeah,
Martha.
You're right.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. All the names felt old, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. It was so like 70s.
Yeah, so 70s. And like the curly Q pencil.
Yes.
Cute. We'll talk about that in a second because I'm going to ask about it. But okay, so Martha was Murphy's and Chelsea's.
I'm trying to think. Was it Martha who, you know, because she was trying to hide her hearing aid, and so she thought that her friend didn't see it, and so when she mentioned it, she's like, "Oh, you knew that I had it." Was that Martha?
Yeah, that was Martha.
She was the first one that interacted well with her.
Okay, and then I'm gonna have to agree with Chelsea, and Martha's gonna have to be my favorite character too.
Yeah. What about you, Wulfie?
I think I'm just going to join the bandwagon here and say Martha as well.
Martha's so cute. Okay, but I'm going to be different because you all picked Martha, so I don't want to pick Martha. And I'm going to say the crush, is his name Mike or Mark?
Oh. Yeah, Mike, I think.
Mike, right?
Really? That doesn't sound...
I liked him. Oh, I don't know if I'm right. I know it started with an M.
Okay,
I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, I see. Like, I found him.
It is Mike.
It is Mike.
Yeah.
Chelsea, you're on top of it.
I can't believe that. I'm surprised.
I thought he was so cute. Like, I mean, Martha was also... I loved her too, and honestly, she is my favorite. But if I was picking something different, I would say Mike because he was nice and he made the boy apologize for breaking the pencil.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, I have a trampoline. You can use it if you want.
Also, that would not happen in this day and age.
No, it wouldn't.
Hey, want to come use my trampoline, you stranger? No.
I don't know. I think kids
community was just so
maybe
different.
maybe it's that I live in Long Beach too. Like,
yeah, Long Beach is definitely not where you'd share a trampoline.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I grew up in a town of 200, so like we would definitely share trampolines.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but community is just different now than what it was.
It is.
Like, you know, everybody on the neighborhood knew each other. Every summer, you know, kids were coming outside to play. But, you know, we have, like, video games and we have, like, you know, kids got iPhones now. And then, like, people don't really look out for other people anymore. Like, literally, I live in an apartment building and it's 21 buildings and I can't tell you who the heck lives here. You know, so there's, like, really, like, no sense of family with your neighbors anymore. So I'm sure
that's true.
Anybody over into my backyard to get on my trampoline. I don't even want you on my porch. I'm suspicious.
Like, leave. Keep walking.
Like, if you are not UPS, why are you on my porch? I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. I grew up I grew up with divorced parents, so my dad's family lives on a cul-de-sac in a like suburb type area, kind of like middle class affluent area, and all of the neighbors are best friends with each other, all of the adults, all of the kids, everyone knows everyone, which is annoying because it means you can't sneak in. You can't sneak in home. But I didn't live with him full time. I only lived there every other weekend. So I'm like the outsider within the inside group a little bit because no one knows me as well as everyone knows everyone else. Yeah. But my sister really experienced that because she lived with my dad full time. Whereas I grew up in Long Beach and no, we didn't know our neighbors growing up. We don't know our neighbors now. We live in this like giant apartment complex. And the only person that I talk to is the woman who lives right below me. And she's very nice. She says good morning to me every morning, but I don't know her name. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, we had a community because we lived in one of those apartment buildings where like every apartment's different. Like they had different layouts and then we had like a courtyard and like, so everybody had kids at the same age, but then we all grew up and like no one talks anymore. Like people just don't talk to their neighbors anymore.
Yeah. Definitely.
Very busy with their own selves. And, you know, we're just so consumed with ourselves as people. Like, neighbors don't even really help raise kids. You know, there used to be a time, like, if a kid was, like, you know, disrespecting his parents, the neighbor would come outside, like, who are you talking to? But people, you know, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah, we don't.
We just be like,
Yeah, it's different.
Like, look at their kid.
Right. I know one time this one little kid was acting up in the store and I usually stay out of it, but her dad kept telling her over and over to stop and it just made me mad. I said, look here, little girl. If I hear your daddy talk to you one more time. And her dad like looked at me like, oh,
who are you?
Right. No, but he was like, well, thank you. And I was like, what did I mean? Your kid is being crazy.
Well, sometimes a stranger saying something to you is going to make it work a lot faster than your parent because that's scary. You're like, oh, dang, somebody else noticed.
Yeah.
Right.
Fandom in Books said, I loved how the writing in the ink bubbles got lighter and lighter to visually show Cece losing her hearing. So I did too. And coming up to that, what was one of your favorite things about the art of this graphic novel? Whether it be like the general style, the fact that they're rabbits.
Not necessarily art related, but my favorite page was the page where it's like a diagram of her, page 39, it's the diagram of her with her hearing aid or whatever. And
Oh, yes.
it's so cute. Like, just all the little, like, notes where it's like, underpants, avert your eyes. Like, it's thought it was really cute.
I love how obsessed she was with that rosette.
Yes.
Yes. I love the things that are not connected to the hearing aid, too. Like the random stuff as well. Like the underpants and the
rosette.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
but I also appreciated that they gave us, like, a full-on diagram. Because, like, I've never seen the phonic ear before. You know,
right.
like,
and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think phonic ears are what's used anymore.
No,
I don't think
stopped using those late 90s, early 2000s.
Right. I'm a substitute teacher, so I've had a few different times where I have had to wear microphones for a deaf student in the classroom or a hard of hearing student. But they've never had the phonic ear. They usually have either hearing aids, or I've had one person who had a cochlear implant, and I still wore the microphone to enhance it and whatnot.
Yeah, they definitely still have the microphone, but the actual phonic ear is
no.
gone.
Yeah. My favorite thing was the thing that Fandom and Books mentioned, Paula. I love Paula. Hi, Paula. Paula's here it's like 3 a.m. for her, and she is roughing it up to be here, and I love her. Yeah, I also just loved, like, this is a good example of it, where she's, like, showing what it sounds like to her, and it's just a mess in behind her or in the bubbles or whatnot. I loved that, too. And I also love that they were rabbits because it's about hearing, and rabbits have big ears.
Yeah, I loved when she had the headphones on and they were like, just like chilling,
like way up here. Thought that was fun.
I don't know what page it is, but I love 2 pages of the art. I love when she goes to spend the night and when it gets dark, and so it gives her perspective.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what page that is. And then I love when she is having the time of her life when her teacher is using the bathroom, and she's just like chuckling and having a good time with that.
That was one thing.
96, by the way.
Yes, 96 is the sleepover. But that was one of the things that aged it for me too. Murphy mentioned the aging of the book, but the fact that the teacher left the classroom, really was like, what are we talking about? Because as a substitute teacher, I am not allowed to leave the classroom unless every single student is not in it. And anytime I leave the classroom, I have to lock the door behind me because no one's allowed in the classroom without a teacher in there. Like, that's at least in this district. I don't know what the rules are all over, but
I don't think teachers do that anymore. I think my generation, well, I'm sure that's all, we're probably all around the same age. That might have been like the last cohort where teachers were able to like leave the classroom for a second, like if they needed to go to the teacher's lounge to get extra copies or anything. Because at my elementary school, our teachers did leave the classroom, but he left a person who would take names. So like if you were talking or weren't doing your homework, whatever, then like a
student would write the names. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
I think I vaguely remember maybe some of that, and I know that like there were times where it was like a couple minutes where maybe they needed to run out and get copies or something like that. But like in the story, she's like leaving for like 20 minutes or something during silent math. I'm like, what?
Every day.
Yeah, what is happening?
She might be exaggerating, and
true.
Part, it's just I doubt any teacher was. I don't know. Maybe they was gone for 20 minutes. This was the 70s, so.
She showed the teacher sleeping one time in the teacher's lounge during silent math. So in her mind, it must have been a long time away.
Okay, I had a question in my head, and now it has flown out of my mind. Oh, curly pencil. Okay, so the curly pencil is my favorite scene.
Talk about aging the book.
Dude, I know. Yeah. But the curly pencil was one of my favorite scenes, just like the whole part of like her getting a curly pencil and being so excited about it, and then it breaking, and then Mike making the boy come back and apologize and all that stuff. That was my favorite scene. What was your favorite scene?
I actually have a question about that, because this is something that I thought about when I was reading the book. If Cece wasn't deaf, would Mike have made that guy apologize? Because I don't necessarily think that the guy did it because he quote wanted to embarrass a deaf girl. I think he did it just because he's a butt crack. I mean, in elementary school, like there's been times, even me, where I've been like excited about something, like for show and tell, and I would be like, oh look, and because people want to get laughs or they think stuff is funny, you know, they break it or they mess it up or whatever the case. And so I wonder, like, okay, well, if Cece wasn't deaf, would Mike have gone to her rescue like that?
Right, or was it kind of a poor deaf girl, let me help? That's true. I didn't think about it like that. That makes me change my feelings. I'm going to hope that Mike was just a good guy.
Well, Mike knew her before she wore her really visible hearing aids, because they met in the summertime and he was letting her use the trampoline then. So, and he was like really kind to her back then too. So I would assume that he's nice.
Yeah, hopefully he's just nice.
I think it was out of meanness, just more of like maybe he felt entitled to do it. I mean, like, 'cause I know even for me, sometimes I have to realize that, like, when I'm with my deaf friends and hearing people like do ignorant things, it's not for me to come to their rescue all the time. And because I love my friends so much, like it bothers me. And their whole thing is like, okay, but you can't come to my rescue every single time. Like, I'm a grown woman or I'm a grown man, or people are just going to be ignorant about me, you know, unless somebody is blatantly calling me, you know, stupid deaf girl, you know, you could chill out, you know, don't get upset because somebody is over exaggerating their words to me. So that's kind of like where like my question about that came from, just from my
that's true
with being with my deaf friends.
That's definitely true. Anybody else have a favorite scene other than the curly pencil?
I really loved the scene where she was jumping on the trampoline and then Martha left. And like she's just there and she's like, I love him. Like, I was such a little kid. You know, like I would totally just be like
she reminded me so much of me. I was totally the girl that had crushes on all the boys at all times. And it was just always a fun, loving, dubbing fest. Like, hey.
That is so funny.
Yeah, that was me as a kid.
This isn't really a favorite scene, but like I know she has a really hardcore crush on Mike, but I was kind of surprised after the PE teacher like was super careless with the mic, and he broke it, and then she let Mike like run all around town with it.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
Yeah,
she wanted to impress him.
I know that took 6 weeks to get it fixed, and it was like the worst 6 weeks because she had to go back to being completely deaf, and so you would think that she would be like super coveting it,
protective and nervous of it.
Yeah.
I definitely was like, but I'm just gonna go with it.
Yeah.
I think maybe like as a 4th grader, her mind might have been different because, you know, her PE teacher was just like, and like intentionally because he didn't treat it with care, he basically intentionally like slammed it. So I guess because he, you know, Mike showed, you know, the kind and loving side to him and like, hey, we're friends, because she had that trust. Maybe that's probably why she was more willing to, you know, let him in on her superpower. And so maybe that's probably where the mind frame was, you know, as a 9-year-old, or, you know.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's different when it's a crush or even a friend versus the teacher that you don't like. Like, there's a big difference between these two types of people.
For crushes, okay?
Yeah, true. Oh man. So Kathleen said, Cece's experience with lip reading, the difference between the slower soap opera speaking versus the cartoon characters, which weren't as realistic or easy to follow along, and also how Tom and Jerry was silent. I think she's saying those were her favorite. That was her favorite part. Did everyone answer what their favorite scene was? Or did I move on?
I was busy making commentary. I didn't even say anything about my favorite
I'm sorry. I started moving on and realized I don't think everyone answered.
Let me see. I think my favorite scene had to be when Martha and Cece reunited. And because like I was like I was like honestly like had tears in my eyes when like Martha would stop answering and this and that. And I'm like, Martha, how many times homegirl gotta say it ain't your fault? Like, you making it bad. Stop making it about you.
So true. Honestly, that's why she annoyed me. I was like, girl.
Yeah.
Can you calm down?
It did get annoying because I'm like, I got the whole like feeling bad and this and that, and something, but what if I made you blind? And so my whole thing is, I guess maybe she took it so hard because in Martha's mind, it's like, you're already deaf.
So I don't want to make you blind too.
Yeah, so let me just stay away from you. But I feel like Cece has laid her heart out more than once. Like, no, like, don't stay away from me. But I don't know in these kids' brains, but that was bothering me. So when they finally got back together in the end, I really, really, I was very touched. And I really loved that.
I agree. Who else? Did anyone else not answer? Wulfie, did you tell us your favorite scene?
I don't really have one. I liked the whole idea of it being like a superpower, though, because usually you see it as like this bad thing, and like I even get it all the time. Like, oh, you're hard of hearing. I'm so sorry for you, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not though.
Yeah,
so, like, it's nice. It's nice to see it in a better light like that.
Yeah, it's crazy how much like that just that like, I mean, relatively small shift in perspective changes the view of it. It's amazing. So going with what Kathleen had said about the soap opera and cartoon characters, what was something that this book taught you about deafness or about hard of hearingness or about disability in general or something along those lines? Disability, I use that word even though not everyone agrees that deafness is a disability, which is a whole nother topic. It's a whole nother live show, but yeah.
Right.
I think what I personally really learned, and like from reading this and then from hanging out with Natasha, who was in the chat, like, you know, it's I didn't realize that it makes it harder when you try to speak slower and like just speak normally, and you know, that's what I took most out of it.
Are you guys thinking? Trying to decide what to say? Natasha said it taught me my experience is valid, and now you're gonna make me cry. Don't do that.
I love you, Natasha.
Natasha's great. It taught me, so I went into this book thinking it was actually going to be about sign language, which they mentioned sign language a little bit, but that scene, there's a scene in there where the mom makes her go to sign language classes and she's mad about going, and then she doesn't like it. There's like every once in a while a friend at school or whatever, or a person at school will be like, I know sign language, and then they'll start doing the ABCs. And she's like, no, don't talk about it. Don't do it. I don't want anyone to notice. Because her frustration is that you start seeing it and then everyone starts staring at you. And coming from a hearing person learning sign language, it's different because it doesn't bother me. Because it's not my experience all the time, every day. It's only if I choose to make that my choice of language. Right. So watching that frustration, especially from a child, was really fascinating to me and kind of eye-opening.
It's really hard to say what I learned because I've been in the deaf world for 5 years now. And so I was pretty much up to speed on everything my first 6 months of like fully being active in the community. But I will say that when I was new to the community, definitely this book would have 100% blown my mind, especially about just the whole, a lot of times, like when we meet somebody who's different from us, we want to go out of our way to accommodate them without realizing that going out of our way to accommodate them in some way can be dehumanizing to them. And so I think I definitely just would have been like, oh my gosh, let me go save the world. Like if I was a new person first reading this book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely still struggled with that whole concept of like, I know quite a bit about deaf culture and sign language and all these things, and that doesn't mean that I need to stand up and be, I don't need to be the voice for deaf people. I need to take a step way back and be like, this is your choices and all this stuff, and I'm just going to be the support behind you rather than the person standing up in front of you.
Exactly. Like even if I'm out And, you know, I'll ask my friend, like, if they need to interact with somebody at a coffee shop or whatever, I'll ask them, I'm saying, hey, I'm here. If you need me to interpret for you, let me know. That way you have that choice if you want to use me or not. I'm not just going to be like, oh, and start interpreting for their order. Like, if you don't want that, I won't. Like,
Right. Yeah. Anyone else? Something you learned or hadn't ever thought of before reading this book?
This was a unique perspective for me. I personally love reading books that feature a main character that is deaf because it's something that I'm really passionate about. And I'm always very sensitive in particular about the way the deaf community is portrayed, because I feel like a lot of books with a main character that's deaf, the protagonist is angry at all hearing people and like doesn't like want them to try to interact with them and stuff like that, and like don't try to talk to me, don't try whatever. And it just makes me so angry because so I grew up with two people who were deaf, and through that I got to know the deaf community a little bit, and took sign language classes and all that. And it like I got to know the deaf community a little bit, and like I'm not you know as experienced as Bree is or anything, but it just makes me so angry when the deaf community is painted so angry. And so I'm always so sensitive about it. And every good narrative I've found about deaf community is people who like love being deaf and you know are happy about their community and don't view it as a disability and so to read from the perspective of somebody who is not happy in the situation that they're in was difficult for me because I'm so defensive of that narrative. But it was painted in such a good light that I really feel like I saw that narrative, the not being happy in the skin that you're in a positive light and in like a understanding and fulfilling light, which was really good for me because I think that's the first time I've seen that narrative painted well.
Yes, I agree.
It's so interesting that you talk about like a lot of times being portrayed, you know, as the angry deaf person, because that is very, very common, being portrayed as the angry deaf person. And oftentimes there are a lot of angry deaf people, which I understand with good reason, but as long as I've been in the community, I've noticed that the angry deaf person is always angry at the deaf person that doesn't seem like a proud deaf person to that proud deaf person, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. They're like, why aren't you proud? Like, I'm proud.
Exactly. And the anger comes from like, why are you trying to be hearing? When hearing people do this, 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 and this.
Yes.
They've done this, this, and this. And yeah, you want to try to use your voice and be like them. Why aren't you proud? Like what, this and that. And so then there's this whole like riffraff, like between true deaf and not really deaf. And I'm like, dang, are y'all all deaf? Like, come on. Let's stop that.
Just community.
You know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, that even within the deaf community itself, there is a lot of work to be done. But just like with any minority group, we're still like against each other. Like even for me, like being a Black woman, like, okay, yeah, like we're all Black women, but even we're catty with each other over who needs more attention, or well, you got more likes than I did, or you got more attention than I did, or I don't want nobody looking at you because it takes, you know, it's just always something. And so like we got to do better. Like, you know, at the end of the day, like this is the struggle that we share. So in the same struggle that we share, like let's use that to build one another. But I think that every minority group goes through that. I haven't, you know, seen one minority group that doesn't go through, end up attacking one another so that they can feel above that person.
Right. There's an annoying term that is annoying, but probably kind of accurate. And it's called, what's it called? It's called like it's not the minority Olympics.
Mentality?
No, it's something called the Olympics. And it's like always arguing about like my minority is worse than yours, or my whatever is worse than yours. So I'm me. And it's like, why don't we do this and do better? and get our shit
Yeah.
done and get it more equal and ready and better world for all the things.
Right.
Okay, so Kathleen is awesome. She's my friend at the same college that me and Bree go to. She said she's not able to type all of it at once, so she's going to have to type in bits and pieces. How people talk to her, they called her adorable, poor thing, tried to teach her sign language, referring to her as someone like you. Loved that Cece's mom encouraged learning sign language. You don't see that happen as often with hearing parents. And I wish Cece took on sign language and celebrated it, but I'm so glad that it was introduced as a communicative option. And that was one of the things that I did notice too. I was surprised that we saw the hearing parent wanting to introduce sign language and the child who is deaf being like, no, which I'm sure, I mean, it's a memoir, so like it's an experience that has to have happened, obviously, but it's not usually the narrative of the general deaf person, the general story. So I found that really fascinating to watch as an obviously autobiographical version. It's not made up or anything. So I found that a really enlightening point of view to like realize that there are many ways to be deaf, which I mean, you get told that all the time, but to actually read it and experience a memoir like this is really enlightening to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The author even said it in the book. She was saying that at the end that these are my experiences.
Right.
It's not a guide of how to quote deal with deaf people or how all deaf people think. I am not a representative of the whole spectrum of the deaf community, but these are merely my experiences, my feelings, and how I felt, and my perspective. I'm like, wow, that's really great.
Yeah, she even said that she doesn't really have experience with the deaf community. She had only experience with the hearing community, which I guess is why the deaf community wasn't really represented at all and wasn't embraced or sought after or any of that. So I thought that was really interesting. That was one of the main reasons I went to the like her author note before I finished the book, was because I was like, I don't know, this is a little bit sketchy. Like, why is this kid acting this way?
So, okay, how many of you have read Your Welcome Universe? I can't remember the author's name. I know Murphy did. Wulfie, you were in that live show too, right? Okay. So to the two of you, I'm sorry, Bree and Chelsea. Okay, if you were comparing the two books, just for like a reader's perspective, not specifically on deafness or anything like that, but in Your Welcome Universe, you've got a deaf main character. She uses sign language fully in the deaf culture. She originally is at a deaf institute, and then she gets expelled and gets mainstreamed into a hearing school. She has deaf parents, right? Did I make that up? I think her parents are deaf.
Yeah, she has two moms.
Right? Okay, two moms, and they're both deaf. I was like, wait, did I lie? Okay, so we have a book about a main character fully immersed in deaf culture, and we have a book that has a deaf character and nowhere near immersed in deaf culture. Putting that in quotation marks because obviously she has deaf experience as a deaf woman. And book obviously being fictional and everything, how did you feel about these two books? Like, if you had to say which one was better or which one somebody should read, what would you say?
I didn't like Your Welcome Universe's take on, because she used the angry deaf girl trope, and I hate that trope so much. She was so mean to Yoga Pants, the girl that was trying so hard to be her friend and to communicate with her, and
to her interpreter and to her parents.
Oh my gosh, she was so mean to the interpreter. Like, she hated everyone hearing, and like she put up the biggest wall. And then even her friend who was deaf, who like tried to be a part of the hearing world and the deaf community, she was so angry at her for trying to include hearing people in her life. And I know that that's a narrative that exists, but I think that it's such a minority in the deaf community, and it's such a toxic trope to play off.
Yeah, it's a scary trope to play. I'm not a fan of it.
Especially if you don't show the other side of it.
Minority is about a 50-50.
Right.
because because it depends on what they're angry about.
Right.
So I mean, if you just want to like say like generally about them being angry, I would think it's about a 50-50, because you have some deaf people who, upon once finding out that I'm hearing, become angry at me and want to like shun me out. So
I have to say, if I was going to recommend either of these books to somebody who wanted to learn about deafness and stuff like that, and they were like, oh, which book should I read? I would say read this one over Read Your Welcome Universe. And I say that mostly because this book was written as a memoir by a deaf woman. And the other book it's a fictionalized book written by a hearing person who has some experience with the deaf world. She had beta readers and everything, so it's not like she was an asshole about it. She did the job that she could do, and it's not a bad book, but I think that this one is a better representation of a real experience, because it literally is a real experience.
I thought A Quiet Kind of Thunder was a good representation of deaf community.
I want to read that one.
What's it called?
I want to read that too.
A Quiet Kind of Thunder. I'll grab it. 1 second. Give me a second. I'll grab it.
Yeah, I want to read that. If you do that, Cassie, let me know.
I want to read it. I don't know if I'm gonna make it a this or just read it in general, but whether or not, we should buddy read it. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So go to the library and see if my library has that.
I had to order mine from the UK because it's a UK author, and so they don't use US sign language. But I think now it's published in the US. Just when I bought it, it was a new release, and it was only published in the UK.
I think the UK cover's prettier, if I'm not mistaken.
It is so gorgeous, that pink one.
Very shiny.
Yeah, it's hard to see.
Giving me 2 books that I need to read, even though y'all said y'all didn't like Your Welcome Universe.
It's not
be in on it too, so I could not like it.
Yeah, it's not that it was a bad book. It was just that it was an okay book.
Yeah,
like
and
my experience, they don't read it.
Yeah, my experience with the deaf community is like I only experienced truly kind, loving, like patient people that were just excited to have someone that cared because they got ignored so often. So I really didn't experience angry people in the group that I knew. But I mean, Bree, you have a much wider experience than I do, so you definitely would know more than I would.
Oh, girl, don't make me blush. No, I definitely have to read both those books. Those are like really the only like books that I read, or books about like deafness, or whether it's fictional or true. Just because somebody is like always asking me to, like, hearing people in the hearing world, asking me like to like speak about stuff. Like I just did a gig not so long ago about deafness in mental health, and what colleges need to do, and like steps that they can do to like open up inclusivity and open up a way for deaf students to be able to get these services. Because if you're going through finals, you may need some type of mental health service or something, but there's nobody there. So I love reading like all those books, so I'm putting it on my list for sure.
Okay, so
sorry, I just want to mention A Quiet Kind of Thunder. The main character has severe social anxiety, and the love interest is deaf. So the main character isn't deaf, but the love interest plays just as big of a role as the main character. And
she has selective mutism, right? Is that
she does? Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought I remembered.
I literally just bought it.
Chelsea buying a book in a live show?
Shocking.
How weird.
Hold on, let me drink a little too.
I know. Cheers.
I finished my water, but cheers.
Oh, well.
I'll drink water too.
I don't have any water near me. Water is for squares. No, I'm just kidding. Be hydrated. It's hot.
You're right.
So, how did you guys feel about this one? I don't remember her name, but that one.
Oh, that Sally or something like that?
Was it?
I don't remember.
She's the one who. So she has the first friend who is like an asshole.
Jenny. Her name's Jenny.
That one is, or the first one?
Yeah. This one. This one's Ginny.
Okay, so Ginny is the one who she meets second and is like, she's better than that first girl who's always making it all about her.
Yeah.
And then Hater. Just kidding. That was mean. That was mean to a lot of Emmas out there.
Fictional child.
Yeah.
Wait,
this
which
fictional
one was
Emma.
Emma? I don't remember.
She was the first friend. She's like,
This is her, the first friend that sucked.
yeah, they meet in like first grade, and then they're friends for 2 years, and she's the only one who's willing to talk to her because, you know, scary girl with earbuds. No one wants to talk to her. But then she's kind of... Oh, Phantom in Book said the name of the girl who was an asshole is Laura.
Oh, I guess
Emma.
Emma is the girl in the pigtails. This one right here.
Oh,
I lied.
wait, this one?
No, that's our protagonist, isn't it? Or did I look at that wrong?
No.
Where did Emma go? This is Emma, right here.
Yeah.
I got her confused with Laura. Oops.
Oh, this was
I think-
her friend.
I think Cassie was talking about Laura, because this is Laura, right? And I just got my girls crossed.
I don't know which one's which.
I think.
All I know is
can't
the girl
remember.
that I'm trying to talk about is the one whose mom is friends with the mom. That's how they meet. And then they eventually get into the same classroom.
Yeah.
And she's the one who's nicer than the asshole friend. And so our main character, Cece, likes her, but she speaks slow and she's like talking loud.
Yes.
Her as my deaf friend over and over again.
And she's the one who hosts the sleepover.
Yep.
Okay.
And and Emma's the popular girl, right? Is that right?
Maybe.
Oh.
Name is Jenny.
Emma's the popular girl. Yeah, Ginny. Jenny's the one that I'm talking about.
I remember being... Oh.
Everyone knows what we're talking about in the comments. None of the people in the live show know. Shall we? Kathleen and Paula are like, Jenny.
She's tall and fun and pretty. She's really, really skinny. Cho Chang. Oh, okay.
What? I need to know what you're singing.
You haven't seen a Harry Potter musical? That's on YouTube. Go watch it.
I'm like scared of it.
Why?
I'm too hard of a fan.
Yeah,
Harry Potter.
It's real good.
Is it good? Are you a Harry Potter fan though?
Yes.
Okay, just questioning. Sorry, you don't.
Girl, I have a Harry Potter shrine in my apartment. Whenever you come over, we will watch a Harry Potter musical.
Okay, I'm down. Kathleen's yelling at me. She said, "I'm yelling at the screen at you, Cassie." Oh, I'm sorry about the Harry Potter musical. I haven't watched it yet. Okay.
I'll watch Hamilton at your house. All right.
We can't watch Hamilton.
I'll listen to Hamilton and get drunk at your house.
You know what? That sounds great. I am down. Okay, so yeah, Jenny. I wanted her to be better. Like I wanted a character development thing to happen with her, and it did not, and it was sad.
Although I will say, that's kind of true to children.
That's
they were
reality.
young.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, true to reality, true to children.
Plus,
I understand.
Cece never communicated with her. That was my frustration. Not that but if she had communicated instead of just bottling it up.
Yes, I so badly wanted her to be like, hey, talk.
She does though. She ends up yelling at her at one point, and then she cries and runs off, and she's like, I can't believe you talked to me like that. And then but then she's supposed to be her friend again. But then she goes back to her old habits of talking slowly and everything.
Some people just never learn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I happened to click to open up to the right page. On page 101, she yells at Ginny saying, "Don't ever call me your deaf friend again." Oh no, this is El Deafo, not real conversation.
Shortly after El Deafo says it, she says it too.
Does she actually say it?
Yeah, because she makes her cry. She runs away crying.
That's sad.
And she was like, "Oh my gosh, did I really say that out loud?" Like,
yeah.
Twice.
Oh.
Sign language class, but she thought she was doing it to herself, and her mom was like, "Bro, like, what's happening?" And she was like, "Oh my god, did I really just do that?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was very frustrated with the lack of communication.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it because this is 1st through 5th grade.
They're 10-year-olds.
Sorry.
Yeah.
None of those ages are good at communicating. But it was so sad because as an adult, you're watching it and you're like, man, if you just knew the secrets, you could have so much better time. Or like the secrets of also just like that first friend. I mean, she meets her in kindergarten or first grade. So like obviously at first grade, you don't know what a good friend is like or anything like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What? Are you gonna give me something? Chelsea says hi. I don't think you know who Chelsea is. He's looking like this. No, not the same Chelsea. I have another friend named Chelsea who he has met. And
well, someday I'm going to take over his apartment. We're going to watch Harry Potter musicals and Hamilton.
He will leave. Not leave me, just leave.
It's a shame that we live so close and that has not happened yet.
I know. I'm sad. Okay, Paula, I see that you said hi, Matt. I will say hi to him when he comes back from getting beer, because that's where he went. Okay, we have a man who's doing some things. I need to block and report. Sexually explicit material. That works. Okay, bye.
Oh.
In our live
my
show.
Chat was delayed. I was like, what are you talking about?
Oh yeah, he's doing a lot. He's doing a lot over here. I'm not enjoying it. Okay, so I think, does anyone have any like things that we haven't at all discussed that we need to bring up that I haven't thought about yet?
I thought that the ending was really abrupt, and I was kind of surprised. Like when I got to the last page, I was like, do we not have like 5 more pages? Because I feel like it just like ended so fast and so hard.
I feel like that happens a lot with like graphic memoirs, because the same thing happened in Honor Girl by Maggie Thrash. Like it just ends, and it's like, where's the rest of the book?
Yeah, that's how I was feeling with this. I felt like there was more story.
With the books, period. That makes me so mad. I literally just got done reading a book called Rosie Girl. And where it ended, I was literally like flipping through the pages because I'm like, there must be like invisible words on these because where it ended, I was just like, I'm like, see, this is why I don't read, because y'all take up my blood pressure and then don't let me know what's happening.
Yeah, books make you feel things.
They do.
That's why I like them, though.
Yes.
They make me feel emotions. Yeah, I thought it was a good place to end it, but I can see what you're saying about it being abrupt. But I liked that it ended with her giving what were they called? The fuzzies, the warm fuzzies.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, finally reconnecting with the friend. Mm-hmm. It's Martha, right? That she
had been cute. Oh, I die.
Loved it.
I mean, it was partially because, like, she reunited with her friend and 1 page later it's over, and it just seemed like very abrupt resolution. But then also with Mike, like, she just started getting along with Mike, and like then it was over. And so I didn't know how that ended up either. I don't know. It just seemed like there were a lot of things and a lot of characters that I never really got an ending for.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't read graphic novels, so I don't know. Maybe that is a common ending.
Yeah, I mean, graphic novels always feel abrupt to me because, like I said, you read them in like 1 hour or less.
Mm-hmm. And then a lot of the times they're part of a series, and it's just like you go on forever and ever and ever. But like every 4 issues, it's like, what's gonna happen next?
Yeah, they never finish the series. But I
read a lot of graphic novels, and they're always like that.
I know. I love my favorite graphic novel. Okay, let's do this. To end the show, what graphic novel would you recommend for people who either are new to graphic novels, not the deaf world, but graphic novels?
I'll step in because I read a ton of graphic novels. For someone who is just starting out with graphic novels, if you like fun things and can handle something that's a little crude, maybe I would say I Hate Fairyland is very accessible and it's hilarious.
I've heard of that one. I haven't watched it, read it.
If you like sci-fi and you can handle something graphic, Saga is always a good go-to. I don't really know anyone that doesn't enjoy Saga.
I like Saga.
And Nimona is also very cute. It's cute and fantastical. I read a lot of them. I'll shut up.
What's that one? No, hold on. What's that one that has the cover has, I think the girls are sitting backwards and one is, I think, white with red hair and one is a black girl. And I think it's a female-female romance. I think they might be sitting forward though, actually.
Bingo. Is that the one that you just read, Chelsea?
Which one? Huh?
The one with the female and they grow up together and they're in separate relationships, but they come back together.
Bingo.
Is that what you're talking about?
Hold on. I'll go get a couple. Okay. Don't look at my pajamas.
I don't know what I'm talking about, but I want to read it. Whatever that one is. Natasha said, Saga is weird as fuck. Christina said she just read Mouse, and it was great. Mouse is a graphic novel that's based on World War II, and the mice are the Jews, and the cats are the Germans. If I'm wrong, Christina, please correct me. But I think that's the premise, and I think that's the way that they arted that. Natasha said that she likes Giant Days, or that she's maybe asking if I was right, if that's the name of what I was thinking of. I'm not sure.
Is this what you were thinking of? That's Bingo Love.
No, it only has two girls.
Sugartown?
No.
No? Okay.
But maybe I'm thinking of like a random
yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I want to say episode, but that's not right.
What are they called? Issues?
Okay, yeah, Issues. Natasha said Giant Days. Does that one have two girls on it?
No, but I have it right here. I love these.
No, that's not what I'm thinking of either.
I can't possibly think of what you're talking about.
It's like been okay. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter because I'm not.
Lumberjanes?
Doesn't Lumberjanes have multiple people on it?
Not everyone. You can block people.
I'm trying. I keep.
Can you make me a moderator?
How do I do it?
Just put my dots next to me and like make me a mod. And I'll get in there and keep tabs on this.
How? I don't know how. Okay, hold on. Manage moderators. I found it. Okay, manage moderators. Moderate. Why is Sierra one of my moderators? I'm down, but let's see. I didn't even know I could do this. Darling, how do I?
You should be able to just hit the three dots next to me and it'll give you the option.
In the live show?
Yeah, in the chat. Oh, you made me one.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what I did. I'm trying so hard to keep up with this. Oh, now it says add moderator. No, what the fuck? I accidentally made him a moderator.
Oh, no.
Moderator. Okay, I removed him. I did it. I fixed it.
Well, good thing it's about to be time.
Yeah, okay, I finally added you as a moderator. There we go, I did it. I lost my train of thought because this guy is very distracting.
I've only read one other graphic novel and I didn't like it. So this is what I would recommend.
Nice. What about you, Wulfie?
Yeah, I only read one and it was this one. So.
Okay, all right. Wulfie, have you read any other graphic novels?
Yeah, but Chelsea kind of named them all, so.
Oh, sorry, Wulfie. Wulfie likes these.
Okay, so mine would be Saga because that's the only one that I've been interested enough to like read multiple. I keep wanting to call them episodes. They're issues.
Try
yeah,
not to get the glare.
There was another one that I read though a long time ago, so I'm not even gonna try. It was a one book like this, like not issues.
Nimona? That was really popular back in the day.
No, haven't read it.
Well, when you come over, you can go through my graphic novel shelf.
That would be great. I'm gonna read Persepolis sometime this month.
Can I give you that?
No, I got it from the library.
Oh, I have that, I think.
I probably almost asked for it. I probably didn't ask for it because I've seen it so many times and I'm like, I need to read that, but my sister owns it, so I should just take it from that. Oh, I know what I read.
I have so many.
I read Mr. Jekyll. What is that book? Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That was where I was missing.
Murphy.
The book or the graphic novel?
It's a graphic novel. I actually am getting rid of it.
Did you not like it?
Well, I know the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and I want to read the actual classic of it. Although I don't do a lot of classics, so I'm nervous.
It's really good. It's a good one to start with. It's kind of a slow start, but it's a good one.
That's good to know. I like the idea of it, definitely. So that's why I picked up the graphic novel. The graphic novel was just, the thing is that it was one of the first graphic novels I ever read. So that didn't help because graphic novels are a whole different experience. They're different. And then also the art is all, I wonder if it's going to be too hard to find. I don't want to do that. But the art is very sketchbooky, and it's all black and white. And it goes well with the feeling of the book. I understood why they did that type of art for this book, but I didn't like it.
Yeah, art sounds so important.
Mm-hmm. It was just one of those, and I was like, no.
The picture of Dorian Gray, I think, is very similar to The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but it's better, in my opinion.
The actual classic, or are you talking about another graphic novel?
Okay. No, I'm talking about classics.
Yeah, you are a classics lady, so I know.
You are a classics lady.
I don't know about all that, but
a classy lady and a classics lady. Oh.
It's getting hot. How's it getting hotter? The sun's going down.
Because we're drinking.
True.
Yeah,
I've
been burning up this whole time. I'm like, don't die, Bree, don't die.
I have another one to recommend. I forgot.
Okay. I have to bow out. My son is waking up, so I have to go.
Right.
Yeah. Good night, baby.
Yeah.
Son, not you.
Bye, Murphy.
Bye, Murphy.
Bye. And good morning, baby. The other graphic novel that I thought of was Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. And it's a series of... What?
Every time the stories got good, they ended.
Isn't that the story of a graphic novel, though?
Okay, but when it's the end of a story, it's
every freaking novel, they always do it.
This book is so cool. I think I really loved the art of this. Look at, scary, but
the art was really
cool.
Great.
Yeah.
But I feel like the stories, were missing. Every single one was missing 3 pages at the end.
True. I do understand what you mean by that. No, I agree. That's the thing. For me, because I haven't read a lot of graphic novels, I feel like that's just the definition of a graphic novel. But obviously, somebody being more into them, you probably have read better choices.
Me.
Yeah, ew. Okay, this page is kind of gross. So if you don't want to see drawings of bloodiness, then look away, and I will tell you when it's no longer on the screen. But ew, and cool,
hot.
It's also warm in my apartment.
Yeah, I'm getting really glossy. I'm sticking to my chair. It's really cute.
And it has been an hour, so I think that is going to be the end of this, unless anyone has any last minute thoughts, opinions, things to say.
No, I just love this book, and I hope the whole world reads it one day.
Everyone read it, yes. Our July Sassy Book Club is When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. I really hope I'm saying it correctly because I'm sorry if I'm not. But I'm really excited to read this. It's also on my Bibliothon TBR. The Bibliothon starts on July 14th, so just all of the plugs for all of the things that I'm a part of right now. So yeah, you should read this with me this month, and the live show will be sometime right after Booktubeathon. Booktubeathon ends on August 5th, and I have people who are participating in that in my live show, so I don't want to coincide. Also for you guys who are watching, so that you don't have to try to pick. So yes, that's everything as far as that goes. Paula's amazing. Natasha's amazing. Kathleen's amazing. Christina's amazing. Jose Reyes needs to leave. You did a good job hiding him. I don't know how you did that, but thank you.
Magic.
Okay, I'm going to stop this broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us.